What's going on, guys? It is T90 Official, and I am back with another Age of Empires 2 build order. I've done quite a few of these so far. There's 10 in total to fill this playlist, and the interactive build order guide is below in the video description if you would like to do this yourself. Obviously, I'm recording this for YouTube, and you just heard Forest Nothing as someone subscribed to my stream, and I didn't have the alert audio removed. So... well, thank you, Mr. Vic. So let's get started here. Now, the Scout to Skirm build is one that I'm very familiar with again. We've done Scouts into Knights. We've done Scouts into Archers. We are going to do Scouts into Skirms now. Actually, before we start, I want to talk about the strength of this build a little bit. Scouts to Skirms is particularly strong against Man-at-Arms into Archers. You have your Scouts to deal with Man-at-Arms, and then you keep your Scouts alive. That's the idea anyway. And you use the skirmishers to counter any enemy spears and enemy archers. Skirmishers and 1v1s are insanely good in those situations, and that's what we'll be using this time. Alright, I need an A.
This is a walkthrough for scouts into skirmishes. Your first benchmark will be to click feudal with either 21 or 22 pop.
Okay.
Your first 6 villagers should gather sheep.
So, like every build that you will see here, 6 on sheep to start. 6 on sheep. So we have 4 right now. Remember, build 2 houses at the start. That's standard as well. And send 6 on sheep. Now, if you can, scout with your other sheep. It helps you find your pigs. It helps you find whatever you're looking for. In this case, I pretty much already know where everything is, but I'm doing it out of habit because unscouted territory bothers me.
Next 3 villages to wood.
So we're going to take the left wood line this time around. We got all of our sheep. And then once we do that, I'm probably just going to idle my scout. I have no need to do anything with him. He can take a break. So we went 3 on wood. So every scout opening can work very easily with 3 on wood. Notice the trend. So 3 on wood, and then to the pig.
Now send the next villager to Lieu-Labor.
Okay.
1 more villager to sheep.
So what I'm gonna do here is what I normally do if the pig is this close. So this is the first time I've slightly deviated and done something special. Let's see if it can get me that A. I realized I only had 50 food left on that sheep. So I sent a villager out there, and you'll get this timing down. But as you can see there,
now send the next 4 villagers to berries.
I have an extra sheep because of that, and the timing was still perfect. So we now send the 4 to berries. This would make it 2. Now it just works out perfectly that I can build this mill here in a second. Any second now. Boom. I think the dropping off food thing is going to be where people really struggle.
Remember to send a villager out to Lieu the second boar.
And again, I'm going to go a bit early. We have 4 on berries, and then we're going out to the next pig. So the base for all these builds are very similar, guys. So do not be alarmed. Whoa, Lumberjack.
Now send the next 2 villagers to boar.
Actually, it's 2019. We call her Lumberjill, not Lumberjack. So they want the next 2 builds to boar. This is perfect.
Also move 2 villagers from boar to build farms.
Okay, so 1 more build needs to go to the boar. And they want the 2 farms. I can't afford 2 farms right now. Oh wait, no, he's going to drop off the wood in a second. Perfect.
Now send the rest to wood and build a second lumber camp after you have 5 villagers on the first.
2 farms is a bit risky. I think a Lumberjill screwed us over. We don't have the wood for a house right now. I'm gonna blame Lumberjill for that one, but You know, as I've said a few times, you don't need to have the 2 farms. It can give you a food boost, which can be very, very helpful, though. We didn't get housed yet. We've made some progress. This lumber camp, in hindsight, was disaster. How can I get worse, guys? How can I get worse? I've done the same map a bunch of times. So anyway, what we want is to have 10 on wood, remember. We want 5 each lumber camp. So these 5 are working away. We have 2 more going over here. And we'll actually get loom.
You research loom before clicking feudal with 22.
Very important, just in case a wolf comes along or enemy units. And we now have 10 on wood. Perfect. Now you might transfer to wood later.
Now move more villagers to wood,
and
so that you have 5 on each lumber camp.
It's telling you to do it a bit later. With the amount of food income that we have, if you do the Dark Age correctly, you're oh my goodness, villagers, stop it. What's going on with the lumberjacks today? You're gonna be able to send the villagers to wood earlier. So that's what I did. And all of the small changes I'm making in my economy, you'll get used to over time. I wouldn't put a lot of stress on yourself to do so, but try and spread your lumberjacks out.
Before you reach feudal.
Try and spread your foragers out. You know, make sure they're not going to this bush, for example. I misclicked my I mean, I really don't have a lot to do, and I'm still screwing it up. I misclicked my sheep villagers once again. And since my barracks was not placed with 1 villager at 60%, it was more around 70%, I'm building it with 2. And they'll finish that house after the barracks. And then we'll build the stable. And we're going scouts, remember.
Now, build a stable with at least 2 villagers, and research both double bit axe and horse collar. Set the TC gather point to nearby straggler trees.
Okay, so we're a bit light on the wood.
Now it farms with the villagers around the TC every time you have 60 wood.
Okay, that's what we're doing. Every time we get 60 wood, we build a farm, guys.
Now start making scouts. Your second benchmark is to get 6 scouts.
6 scouts, alright, so... Doesn't say 6 new scouts or just 6 scouts in general. Oh, we're gonna pretend it's 6 new scouts, I guess. Or we'll wait till it prompts us. Building farms every time we get the 60 wood, making sure to build houses. I'm feeling good, guys. I'm feeling that A. A for effort, at least. Oh, man. See, that's just the walkway for the villagers. It's not inefficient. Just a walkway. That tree's almost finished, so I think we'll build a farm there. We have a total of 4 scouts. 2 more queued up, though.
Once you have about 14 farms, send the next 2 villagers to wood. Then build an archery range as soon as you have enough wood, and start making skirmishes.
Okay, so that's about 14. Notice it says stop making farms, guys. Send more to wood. Stop making farms, okay? And right when we have the wood for an archery range, we make it. So now we're making it. But we got a B for 6 scouts. Well, screw you.
Now send the next villagers to gold, until you have about 4 on gold. You should also move a couple of villagers to gold from berries.
Okay, so 2 from berries at once to gold. We want 4 on gold. I'm a bit interested why it's having us go to gold so early. So we'll see where this goes.
Once you have enough villagers on gold, research wheelbarrow before continuing to add more farms. You will also need to build a blacksmith. Your final benchmark is the click up to castle with 8 skirmishers plus fletching.
Okay, so it wants us to go up. I see what's going on here. It wants us to mass the skirmishers but go up to castle age faster. So as always, it depends. Remember, it depends. But you do have to keep in mind that you might need to fight with these units in feudal. In feudal is where this excels as a build. Not necessarily in castle. It can be strong in castle, but just keep that in mind. We need the blacksmith, as it said. Keep making skirms. We need to get wheel. I'm gonna get it after this villager. Wheelbarrow is pretty essential to get. But we need to have food and we need to have wood. Which I think we'll just have. Yeah, it should be fine. Cool. Now, you could add another farm here. In fact, I'm going to do it. Because skirmishers are quite costly when it comes to food. So you could add more farms now. It didn't say to do that. And I'm notorious for over farming, but I think we'll be fine. We're not going too crazy with it. 2 more farms should be okay. Just going to build a new lumber camp for efficiency. That one's pretty bad. Still making those skirms. Still making sure we're not getting housed. And I keep checking this, but we need one more skirmisher. And that would be our 10, which is what it desires. Now, at this point, you would have the option in game to decide, okay, do I go 2 ranges? Or do I go 2 stables and 1 range? If you're going with skirmishers, 2 ranges is normally not needed because you're creating them early feudal. It's just not necessary. We got a B. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, so normally you'd want to go 1 range, and then you can go 2 stables. But if you lose momentum, let's say you lose all your skirmishers right before you click up to castle age, then it's possible that you would like to, or you would want to add a 2nd range to catch up in numbers. So once again, you know the drill by now. We're going to kill some stuff. And we're actually going to go with a forward villager. 2 forward villagers this time. We'll get our armor for our skirmishers. We'll get our gold upgrade. But yeah, this build is really strong if your opponent goes archers. Because you have the scouts to maneuver in front of the enemy archers, so they'll be firing at you. And then you just patrol your skirmishers in behind and you mop up everything else. It's so good. Really the only thing that your opponent can do is make their own scouts or knights in the next stage. It would be especially strong with Saracens, actually, because if you have a lead skirm, let's say, your opponent is going to probably add knights to counter that in Castle Age if they're doing the right thing, and you can make camels. And of course, if your opponent adds siege, it's quite easy for you to pick off that siege with the knights you're going to have, so... Again, it's a build that's probably one of the most dominant build orders in Feudal Age onwards and 1v1s currently. One exception to that might be Meso-civs. Like, if you go with Eagle Warriors, for example. All civs don't have that, so it's kind of hard to compare that to other ones, but... Alright, we'll add the battering ram. Another thing, just general thing to mention. Oh wow, the micro. Is that Elite Skirmisher takes a long time to research. So you have to keep that in mind. Like, this took me a long time to research. Another thing is, mass crossbowmen, or even cav archers, they can attack skirmishers if skirmishers don't have those defense upgrades. And depending on the numbers. So what you don't want to do is forget those defensive grades. It's very important. So just some tidbits of advice to tack on here. But we got a B, you know. I didn't get a D again. I'm not particularly fond of the D. Now, I'm not judging your life choices, but I don't necessarily want the D. So I'm okay with a B. I love an A. I'm more of an A guy than a B guy. But, alright. Victory. Victory. So that is the Scouts of Skirms. In the future, I am going to do a series where we actually discuss these strategies, discuss these builds, talk about when they can be used, because I think that's going to be what makes it complicated for players. They're going to learn the build, and then they're going to try and go Scouts to Skirmishers, and they'll think, oh geez, that was not the time to go Scouts to Skirms. But I think this is the base. This is the base. This is where you have to begin, and then I can kind of instruct and teach from there. So once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to play the wonderful victory music. And make sure to check out the interactive build order guide in the video description. You can do this yourself and try and beat me and get an A with whatever build you'd like. More to come. See you guys. Have a good one.